Welcome back to Performance Kia Mayfield. Today we have two interesting vehicles for you. You have the Kia Sportage Hybrid SX and you have the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid Ultimate. On MSRP, these cars are less than $200 apart, but this is a great 9 out of 10, while this is an 11 out of 10. We're here to show you why. Before we dive into the vehicles, I just wanted to go over the keys really quick because there's quite a bit different between these two designs. Key, all the buttons are on the edges, so there's no accidental presses while the keys are in your pocket, and they have a very heavy textured material, so it'll weather well. Whereas in the Hyundai key, it's quite shiny. The buttons are right on the face where they could be pressed accidentally, and the indicator light is quite tiny. It's right at the top of the key fob only. And of course, with a shiny item, more chances of scratches and scuffs, that'll be more visible. Now, starting off right at the front of the vehicle, quite simply, let's start with the logos, because I love that. Here you have a very basic plastic logo molded right into the grille, versus here, you have a single piece of machined aluminum. Both top of the line models here, no fog lamps in the front of this vehicle whatsoever. Whereas in here, better suited to the Canadian weather, you definitely want some fog lamps because the moment you get out of the city, you want as much illumination as possible. The amber daytime running lights make a huge difference, and I promise you down the road, more and more manufacturers are going to switch over to this, especially in Canada's whiteout conditions, raining, and a lot of single lane roads outside the city. You want to be as visible as possible. Amber will do that for you. Whereas in here, they just give you a traditional white daytime running lights, which can, again, in whiteout conditions and blowing snow, you may not be as visible as you would be with the amber lights here. Moving further down a little bit, actually, here you will see on the sides, it's a lot of unfinished plastic on this car, and it gradually gets a lot bigger as you move to the back of the vehicle, whereas in the Kia, it's completely finished everywhere. And the cool thing with that as well, by the way, is something like this gloss plastic trim can be refinished, which is the nice thing. So if you ever scratch it or scuff it, this can be refinished. Whereas in here, you have no choice but to replace that part. As we move further along the vehicle, this is a completely heated windshield, top to bottom. So when you get that morning dew, that freezes over, you just start your car, you push a button, in a few minutes, all that snow or ice has just melted away. Whereas in here, there is no heated glass between the two cars. As we move further along as well in design language, you'll see a little bit of difference here. They've chosen to put your mirror right where the quarter glass would go. Whereas in ourselves here at Kia, we give you this quarter glass here for enhanced visibility. We'll move your mirror out and lower a little bit. And as you've noticed already, this is a power folding mirror. There is no power folding mirror on this side on the Tucson. You just get a stationary mirror and that's it. As you move on to the rim choices on the two cars as well, if you look here, the lug nuts are exposed to the elements. They can obviously get rusted or start to swell up, so they're hard to get a wrench onto. Whereas in here, we hide them under cover, keep the design much cleaner, and do that as well, just with that simpler, cleaner design language that Kia is going for. One small detail that I absolutely love is when you look at our gas pedal, which is floor mounted, so is theirs. Ours is finished in this nice aluminum finish, whereas in theirs is just a basic plastic. This has some very heavy duty rubber on it to make sure your shoes grip the pedals properly, whereas in there, it's just standard plastic pedals. There's quite a bit different when you're comparing the Kia Sportage interior to the Hyundai Tucson interior. For starters, you get a squircle steering wheel is what I call it. So you get a flat bottom steering wheel here, so you get lots of knee room when you're getting in and out of the vehicle. Up here also, you get better visibility and a better view of your gauge cluster because of the rectangular shape of the steering wheel. Not only that, if it's snowing outside or the terrain changes, you can change your drive mode and terrain settings right from your steering wheel. You never have to take your hands off the wheel for those. So if you wanted to switch to snow mode, mud, sand, etc., or of course eco or sport because you're demanding a little bit more power, those are all based right off the steering wheel as well. Moving on to the center console of this vehicle as well, they've made a decision not to use gloss black finishes because they never age well. They get scratched up, they look rough very quickly. So we've moved away from gloss black, whereas in the Tucson, there's quite a bit gloss black trim finishes on the center console there. Now, going back to the theme of better for Canada, well, let me explain. All your heated seats and your heated steering wheel switches are physical buttons. They're not on the touchscreen, unlike the Tucson. So again, even if you're wearing gloves, you can activate your heated steering wheel, your heated seats, or your cooled seats for that matter. You also get a nice little storage cubby that is hidden here. That's where your wireless charger sits, your USB connector sit. But even this space is customizable. You can either deploy a cup holder or two, or you can leave it tucked away to put a small light pattern or anything else, along with a giant center console as well. So a bit more traditional than them. Moving on to the second row of these vehicles, you would think there isn't much of a difference, but you'd be surprised how much there actually is. Starting with the two door cards right over here. So on the Hyundai, they have an interesting choice of introducing fabric. Again, I don't know how that would age, dust, clean up, etc. Versus here, we just have soft touch materials top right to the handrail, which is much easier to deal with and to clean. And not only that, moving a little further, your hand goes into this very hard plastic cup when you want to close it. Whereas in here, you get this very large leather-wrapped handle, soft touch handle to, close your door or open your door. Going back to the better built for Canada theme, if you have your gloves on or your kids have your gloves on and you're dropping them off at school, you get a little handle that your hand might slip out of. Whereas in here, you get a nice chunky handle, which you can just put your hand in and grab, even with gloves on, no problem whatsoever. Just one tiny little detail again, they come with a Bose sound system, but no branding here. Whereas in here, you get a nice little aluminum badge of authenticity. Just to show you all the little details the Kia engineers have put into these vehicles, this is one of my favorites actually. Your seatbelt, if you have nobody in the back, you want to open your windows, you want to open your panoramic sunroof, and the wind buffets the seatbelts and they start knocking everywhere. Well, on the Sportage here, you just slip your seatbelt right into this clip here, and it keeps it in place and prevents it from knocking around. I'll show you how they decided to do that on the Tucson side. So on the Tucson, instead of putting in a nice clip in, what they decided to do is just mold a notch into the trim here. So what you have to do is actually twist your seatbelt and tuck it in this way. So of course you may wrinkle your belt or whatever else, but this is their solution for this same thing here. I think ours is a lot more elegant and cleaner, but you be the judge. Moving to the inside of the second row, there's quite a few differences actually. So the back of the Sportage, you get these nice leatherette seat back pockets, whereas in the Tucson, they're just mesh. So again, if your kids are crafting or doing anything like that, those pens and colors, they're just gonna fall right through. Whereas in here, you get nice pockets. Further than that, you also get these really cool, I call them takeout hooks or grocery hooks. So if you gotta grab that one or two items on the way home, you can just hang them back there. Or for a big road trip, you just put a bag there and make it your garbage bag. And it's kind of a nice little item. Further than that, the back of the center console at the very bottom is where the USB connectors are in the Tucson. But unfortunately, whenever you do that big road trip or you have kids and a diaper bag, it usually tends to go right there, right in the way. You can kick the cables or break the cables or something like that. So for that reason, in the Sportage, they're right on the back of the seat pockets right here. On both sides is where you get your USB-C connectors. And then right up here, you have these really cool coat hangers, I call them, or jacket hangers. It's very important if you're traveling with kids or you have little kids to put your kids in the car seat with their jackets on, and they have a chance of slipping out of their jacket in a major accident. So they've done a nice little job of giving you this opening here to hang your jacket or coat on. Generally, everybody does give you this little hook over here, but the problem is you block your kids' view, and of course they start complaining even faster. So here, by just hanging it right there, this is a nice little thing you get on both sides as well. One little difference again compared to the Tucson over there, where you just get standard headrests. Finally going back to one of my first statements about the design languages or the busyness of the Tucson. Again, the reflector, they decided to put it out here into this fender flare, and you can just generally see the amount of creases and lines and different things happening. It's quite busy. Again, historically, busy designs have never really aged well, whereas in the Sportage here, they've definitely taken a much cleaner approach, and it shows. Even this reflector I was talking about here, they've moved it into the side of the tail light just to hide it away and just to keep it all nice and clean. Ultimately, guys, they're both fantastic vehicles. but we know what the clear winner is. We would love to know which one you would choose. Thank you so much.